In healthcare, it sometimes feels like we're just spinning our wheels, that examples of progress are few and far between, and that getting ahead of the disease curve is just about out of reach. But when a ray of hope comes shooting through the clouds, it's often because good science has met with good policy. Smoking bans in the workplace are a terrific example. They now exist in many U.S. states. And the CDC is now taking us one step further toward a concept that they call the Tobacco-Free Campus, or TFC. Global tobacco use claims about 5 million lives per year worldwide. The toll is projected to rise to 10 million by 2020. Cigarette smoking is the leading preventable cause of death in the United States. 1 out of every 5 deaths, about 500,000 people a year, are the result of tobacco. The CDC says that policies establishing smoke-free environments are the most effective way to reduce exposure to secondhand smoke. Evidence has shown that smoke-free policies in enclosed workplace settings are associated with reduced daily cigarette consumption among employees and possibly with increased cessation. The new Tobacco-Free Campus initiative is meant to extend these benefits. According to the CDC, TFC policies are not solely designed to protect non-smokers from secondhand smoke, but rather are also intended to encourage those employees to improve their health by quitting tobacco use completely. Tobacco-free campuses create work environments in which tobacco users find it easier to reduce their consumption or quit. Establishing a TFC provides employers with an opportunity to communicate a consistent pro-health message, project a positive image, and reduce tobacco-related healthcare costs. Providing cessation benefits like counseling and medications in conjunction with the policy supports this quitting process. According to the CDC, the effort began at the request of CDC Director Julie Gerberding. A CDC team worked with an Atlanta-based labor unions to implement a 2-phase process. First, providing expanded tobacco use cessation services for CDC employees nationwide through the Office of Health and Safety and through clinics in Phase 1. And secondly, establishing a completely tobacco-free CDC campus wherever possible in Phase 2. As a result of this initiative, the HHS Secretary announced in November 2004 that all HHS campuses would be going tobacco-free and that all HHS agencies would provide tobacco use cessation services to employees as part of the Tobacco-Free HHS initiative. In August 2005, the CDC completed negotiations with the Atlanta area labor representatives, and this enabled all CDC-owned property in the area, as well as those in other parts of the country that were not affected by current labor agreements, to go tobacco-free. CDC was among the first HHS agencies to implement tobacco-free HHS at multiple campuses across the United States. Now, a toolkit is available to create a tobacco-free campus in your own community, and it can be found at the CDC website. So my attitude is, why delay? Take advantage of this new initiative and start one in your own community. For Health Commentary, I'm Mike McGee.